Ooh, welcome everyone to the Daily Juice Podcast on the Betting Pros Network. I'm your host, Sean, stacking the money green. Give me a follow on Twitter at Sean T. Green. And as always, the juice is being brought to you by BetMGM. Use that promo code JUICE and a $10 bet turns into $200 if either team scores a touchdown. Good for college and pro. Restrictions apply. Wow. How about it? Back-to-back perfect weeks of college, perfect days of college football bets. Let's go, baby. Go 4-0. Now, slight asterisk on the fourth bet because, yes, it was a round robin. Did we hit all three legs? No. Thanks a lot, NC State. I wouldn't say should have, but it would have been nice if if NC State decided to show up in that game, and then we really could have cashed. But because we had Kansas, because we had Wake on the money line in the round robin, we still walked away with that bet, 0.84 units of profit off the 1 unit bet. So I'm grading that as a win. I'm keeping the heater alive, back-to-back winning and perfect days of college football. Feels good. And some really, really fun games of college football. We'll walk through the whole round robin thing and how that was going in a second. Recap the picks, and then, of course, the National Football League. Sunday, I got 5 plays. Let's do it. Let's get it going. First off, Utah, the Utes, put it on Oregon State 42-16, had them laying 10.5. I don't even think Oregon State is really that bad of a team. I laid out the case. I thought it was a really bad spot, going on the road, letdown spot after the Dream Crusher game against USC, playing against this Utah team at elevation, this Utah team being hungry for revenge. Again, I'm not usually looking to lay big chalk, but Utah really made sense. And, I think I do best in college football when I'm handicapping the situational spots. And, so this was for me a pretty straight on situational play. And again, I might be looking to back Oregon State next week because I do think they are a good team and I think they're decently coached. I think they will bounce back after this tough loss here. Next up, Kansas. Wow, what a weird game. They ended up winning outright 14-11. Had them plus 3.5 as a play there, but I was on Kansas, and I thought Kansas would win the game as well. Like the 3.5 for the regular play, included them on the money line on the round robin. I thought they were a live dog. Turned out to be right about that, but man, had no idea this is the way they would win via their defense. Jalen Daniels barely did anything. I kept screaming at the radio. Again, I was driving back from my in-laws. Niece had an amazing birthday. She also, she just had a great birthday. Gave her some sweet Eagles gear. Really brainwashed her into becoming an Eagles fan. Was just playing the fight song for her. Really, really loaded her up there. I didn't see this coming. Kansas normally gets a bunch of these breaks, and then they got a muff punt, but then they were fumbling. I mean, God bless Iowa State's kicker. Let's be honest. He really was the MVP. Poor kid, true freshman, 0 for 3 on field goals, including the game-tying field goal there. I kept yelling at Kansas because they were being so soft. They were not being aggressive on offense, and I was worried that was going to cost them. Got fortunate to get the win here in overtime. Again, I was driving back from the niece's birthday party and had this on in the radio. And shout out to Sirius. They actually do a pretty good job because you can get like the home feed. And it was great listening to this Kansas home feed as this Iowa State kicker missed the field goal. My mother-in-law in the back seat, and I just scream, "Rock Chalk, baby!" And then unfortunately woke her up from the nap. But I apologize, and she was happy that I was making the long drive. So just sounded like a real psycho to her. All right, next up, Wake plus 7. Didn't need the points. I thought Florida State was a fraud, and they kind of proved me right there. Hartman, I think he could really be good at the next level. I know I'm not breaking any news here, but I thought he looked really good. Enjoyed what I saw out of him, and Wake was just able to move the ball, and I thought Florida State was fraudulent, especially at home. This was a great spot where they would overlook this Wake team, and that seems to be what happened. So, yeah, round robin. Again, the Wake, Kansas moneyline parlay paid off. that carried the rest of the losing legs. Obviously, if NC State would have hit, then we would have hit those 2 extra 2-team parlays and the 3-teamer and really took home some cash. But, Kansas, Wake, moneyline parlay, that was enough to cash. And, man, it has been, just back-to-back nice college football days. You know what else is nice? A sweet Brandon Ayuk jersey. That's right. You can get an autographed Brandon Ayuk jersey. All you got to do is go to youtube.com/bettingpros, subscribe, comment on this video. You're automatically entered to win a Brandon Ayuk autographed jersey, courtesy of Pristine Auction. Remember to turn on the notifications so you don't miss the announcement that you won the jersey. All right, let's get to it. NFL. First up, Bills at Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens +4. Found a +4 over at Sugar House, -113. 2-unit play there. Big reason I like them. Ravens left tackle Ronnie Staley coming back. I think that's huge for their offense. And again, Bills, 90 plays on offense last week against Miami. It's not a short week like the Dolphins, but still, I think that's a lot considering you have back-to-back road games. Their defense, not as banged up as they were against the Dolphins, but still pretty banged up. Jordan Phillips is out. Jordan Poyer and Ed Oliver questionable. I think if I had to guess right now, they probably will play, but I don't think they're going to be 100%, and I think you need to be 100% to shut down Lamar Jackson. The way he's been playing, it's really crazy. I know, and like fantasy-wise, he's been amazing, back-to-back 100-yard rushing game, so he's putting the team on his back. Give me the Ravens +4. Also, love this nugget. Teams coming off a road game in Miami, 57, 79, and 4 ATS. That's 41.9%, making Miami the least profitable previous road city in the last 20 years. And then Baltimore is a home dog, 15, 3-1, last 19 as a home dog. It's scary to fade the Bills, especially coming off a loss, but I think this is the spot to get down on the Ravens +4. Next up, Titans at the Colts. And you can get this over on Caesars. I'm gonna go Titans money line +162 over at the Colts. Matt Ryan, I mean, one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, right? Like, eye test, that offense looks horrible. Jonathan Taylor, he actually missed his first practice ever in college, high school, pros. He has never missed a practice. All of a sudden misses a practice. He was back at practice, but the fact that he's missing a practice with a toe injury, I think that's a little bit of a red flag. Titans have done a good job covering in Indy past few years. Colts, dead last in scoring. I don't even know why they're favored in this game. 26 in offense. Yards per play, 4.8, 26 in yards per play in offense. I just don't understand how this team is favored by 3.5 points. I just don't see it. Maybe people are thinking the Colts are good because they beat the Chiefs. I mean, we all watched that Chiefs game. Like they had no business being in that game, let alone winning that game. This Colts team is a very, very bad team, and they're favored. Line makes no sense to me. I'm all over the Titans here to win outright, especially in a division game. Next play, Jets at Steelers, taking the Steelers -3.5, -105 over on FanDuel for 2 units. Should have given this out when there were 3s. Apologies. I thought that 3 would hang around longer, but yeah, should have given you guys the Steelers 3 earlier in the week. I don't think it's going to matter. Love fading Zach Wilson coming off an injury, making his first start. Like, he barely got much preseason work. Newsflash, he was really bad last year. Zach Wilson on the road, 1-6 straight up, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Pittsburgh is coming off extra rest from the Thursday night game. I know we're betting on Mitch Trubisky again, but man, the Jets on the road only getting 3.5. Like, what are we talking about? Minka Fitzpatrick is still on the Steelers defense. Steelers do a great job at disguising coverage, which I think is going to befuddle a young quarterback, especially a guy like Zach Wilson coming off an injury, hasn't played in a really long time, gonna look rusty. I think this is just a very tough spot for the Jets. Jets 1-7 straight up in their last 8 games as an underdog. Of course, that one win was against the Cleveland Browns. We remember that game, and I don't think that's happening again. And then Pat Freiermuth, I think, could have a big game fantasy-wise. You got Sauce Gardner on the outside, but I think there's going to be some opportunities for the Steelers over the middle, a la Pat Freiermuth. Next up, Cards money line plus 100 over at the Panthers, 2 units. Also, this is a Sugar House line. Matt Rule. There's a news report. Matt Rule has lost the team. How does that happen after a win? Only Matt Rule could pull that off. Of course, we love the Matt Rule stat of 1-25 when allowing 17-plus points. The only thing that's scary here is, for whatever reason, the Panthers have kind of owned the Cards as of late. But I'm fine taking the Cards here. I don't think the Panthers are going to win back-to-back games. Christian McCaffrey dealing with the thigh injury. He's missed multiple practices. He's questionable for the game. So, again, hopefully if he's ruled out, this line will definitely shift. If it does, I still stay on the Cardinals money line, probably up to like minus 130. But hopefully you guys are hearing this soon enough before he's ruled out. I think he's going to play. I would say 80% chance he plays. This is a great nugget as far as just the ineptitude of the Panthers offense. Laviska Shenault is second on the team in receiving yards with 90 receiving yards. He wasn't active in week 1 or week 2 and only has 2 total targets. That just sums it all up. And, last year, Cardinals are really good on the road. 8-1 ATS, 1-0 ATS so far this season. Maybe they can get some of that road magic back. So give me the Cards on the money line. Last but not least, let's bring it back. The round robin money line parlay. Now, there's not as tempting of like big dogs this week in the NFL. Obviously, the biggest one is that Packers Patriots, not going to touch that, but I will take Bills, Ravens. Already made the case for why I like those teams. Tag on the Bears. I know the Bears, it's ugly. Ugly dogs show up in the NFL. The Giants literally, I'm not joking, have no receivers. Sterling Shepard, ACL. Like the remaining receivers they have are super banged up. There's like a good chance they can't run 4 receiver sets, which I don't think they should be running considering their offensive line. Robert Quinn, like the Bears can play decent defense. They can create turnovers. They can get a pass rush. Daniel Jones and the Giants in general past few years, not good at home. Daniel Jones is a favorite, 3-6 ATS. Last but not least, Giants are 28th in rush defense. That's the only thing the Bears can do. Run the ball. Khalil Herbert, who I have a ton of best ball shares in, shout out to me. He could really have a massive game. And last but not least, now I know I'm taking the Bears on the money line, but teams the week before the London game, I think this is going back since they started it. 42% against the spread the week before the London game. So maybe they're worried about the travel upcoming to the London game. Again, 42% all day on that. So 1 unit play on Bills, Ravens, Bears, money line, round robin. Next up, we got a 2 unit play, Cards money line plus 100. 2 unit play on Steelers minus 3.5. 2 unit play on the Titans money line. Colts suck. And 2 unit play on the Ravens plus 4. That'll do it for the show. Again, BetMGM, promo code JUICE. Bet $10, turn it into $200 if either team scores a touchdown. Follow us on TikTok at Betting Pros. Follow me on Twitter at Sean T. Green. Check out my other show, Sports Gambling Podcast. Do a live pregame show on our YouTube channel over there for the NFL. You guys know what to do. Subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, don't forget to let it ride.